we have brought into your lovely town a B-17 Flying Fortress World War II strategic bomber. And this particular aircraft is painted up to depict one of the most famous aircraft in the 8th Air Force. The 909 flew 140 missions. It never had a casualty to a combat, never had an abort, never missed a target. 140 times out and back. This was in Bassingbourn, England. It was probably about 70 miles north of London is where it was stationed at. We give rides in the airplanes for a nominal donation, and we offer tours during the day for $12 for adults and $6 for children. They can actually go through the airplanes, get a hands-on experience with the airplanes and see what they were like, see what these kids went through during World War II. There are 12,731 B-17s. There's 9 B-17 Flying Fortresses that can fly. There's actually only about 5 of us that do fly, but there's 9 that are registered that can fly, yes.
UH-1E model, that stands for Utility Helicopter 1 Echo, designates it as a gunship. This is a Vietnam veteran, manufactured in 1967, deployed to Vietnam in 1967, and saw conflict and combat from 67 to 71 with 2 different Marine units in the Delta. So it was an attack or a gunship, a helicopter that supported the SEALs and also the Brown Navy. The aircraft was manufactured by Bell Helicopters. Roughly about over 7,000 were manufactured. How many are flying right now? The military still has some. For instance, the Louisiana National Guard still has a version of this aircraft, which is a larger one, which is a troop carrier. I flew as a veteran in Vietnam from 1966 to 67, flying the troop carrier version for the Army, whereas this is a Marine helicopter, but they allow me to fly it. The VNE, that's the velocity not to exceed on this aircraft, is 138 knots, which is roughly about 145 miles an hour. We normally cruise at about 100 miles an hour, which is close to about 95 knots. The aircraft is what they call a 540 rotor system. You'll see that they're short and stubby, but very wide. It makes the aircraft very fast and very maneuverable for that purpose as a gunship.
Well, this particular airplane is a North American P-51 C model. C model means it was built in Dallas, Texas. This particular airplane is like a Rembrandt. It's a one-of-a-kind. It is the only C model dual control in the entire world. And this airplane was used to escort the fighters to their bomb targets and back. Also, the Tuskegee Airmen, this is the model they flew. This airplane is just a joy to fly. Top speed 440 miles per hour. It's very agile, and I'm just glad to be back in Lake Charles. I went to school here. I graduated from Sewella Technical University that got my A&P mechanics license right over there. But I haven't been back for over 25 years. This particular P-51, there were around 14,000 of them built, and the last count that came up with, there's 152 flying in the world, but only one of this one. So this airplane, it burns around 60 gallons an hour in cruise. Now if I start playing, doing aerobatics, it'll run about 90, 95.
This is the B-24 Liberator. It was the most produced airplane in World War II. They built 18,600 of them. It was used every theater of the war. It was used in Europe, out of Italy. It was used in the Pacific and Burma, China. It flew the most bombing missions of any airplane during the war, dropped the most bombs. And this airplane right here is the only one left that's flying. There's 9 airplanes left, but the others are all in museums, and you can't touch them, you can't walk through them. Out here you can walk through this airplane, see it, smell it, touch it. The average cruise speed of the airplane was about 180 miles an hour, and the range was up to 3,000 miles. This particular airplane had one mission where it was in the air for 18 hours. They were used for strategic bombing, for long-range patrols, for clandestine missions where they would drop agents behind enemy lines, way behind enemy lines. They were used for anti-submarine patrols, and just about everything you want to name. They were used it for everything. Okay, this airplane carried up to 8,000 pounds of bombs. That could be 8 1,000 pounders. Actually could only carry 4 1,000 pounders, but it could carry as many as 96 incendiary bombs. There were a crew of 10. Most of them were gunners. All the names you see on the side are people who have donated money and sponsorship of the aircraft. Some of them have their name and their squadron and group number that they belonged to during the war. Some of them were put on by the individuals or their kids or their grandkids.